Hello YouTube, this is Black Skull, and this video is going to be a little more of a rant. Um, yeah. So, I'm sure you can tell from the title that this video isn't exactly going to be one of my more positive, la-di-da type of videos, right? I've had this on my mind for a while now, obviously, but I never got around to recording it for obvious reasons. But basically I'm going to be ranting about Gothic misconceptions. Now, I may just make a series out of me ranting, simply so that I can find some place on the internet just to get all my hate off my chest. But at the same time, I'm one of those lazy goofballs that seems to be a little nervous, so to speak, in front of the camera. So if I seem a little rambly, that's why. Yeah, I'm lame like that, but let me just start off with the obvious ones first. And I'm ashamed to admit that I was raised Christian, so at first I somewhat believed a couple of these myself at one point, for whatever reason. But I think the biggest one that people seem to think is true for whatever reason is that Goths are somehow devil worshippers. What proof of that is there? What, the fact that we wear, stuff like, I apologize in advance if I end up swearing for this. Like, if we end up wearing friggin' pagan symbols or whatever like that, I've never even worn a pentagram necklace before, ever. I don't have anything, I don't even wear crosses, man. Like, how do you automatically assume that? Most Catholics wear black robes all the time. You think just because we wear black clothing somehow that automatically means, like, there's this girl that I watch on YouTube by the name of Lonely Goth Girl 2. If you've ever seen one of her videos, you should know by now that she's gone through hell on earth for the way she looks. Like, her stories truly make me afraid to step out my front door because of how I look, especially given the fact that I live in Hillbilly Town. Anyway, basically she ended up, I'm not really in any place to tell this story, but she ended up running into this old man at one point, and he basically just asked her flat out, "Do you know what black represents?" And he got into this whole rant-like conversation, basically yelling in her face that she will burn in hell and stuff like that. Dude, educate yourself. Do some actual research on us. Don't automatically just brush us off as death metal heads or anything like that. I mean, yeah, I got long hair and I'm growing back my whiskers, but that doesn't automatically mean that I'm a fucking metalhead. Seriously. I've had people tell me that Hitler was better than me. Not in real life, by the way. I mean, like, online, just random people that happen to see my comments, just like, "Oh yeah, don't reply to me, but you definitely suck dong for a living," or whatever, just random idiots like that. People who don't seem to get what we do, why we do it, and at the same time, they're proud of their ignorance. They take pride in what they don't know because it's just more room for them to continue making up things about people they don't know. People they hate for reasons they don't even have a reason. They can't even explain why they hate us. That's how dumb they are. They're just hating to hate. One more reason that I'm glad to have lost my faith. I'm not saying all Christians are bad, obviously, but I'm just saying, the ones of you that are out there throwing random hate at us. Seriously. Grow some common sense. But, oh, there's another one. Somehow, guys who wear makeup, whether they're goth or not, are gay. Last I checked, I was straighter than a pole humped by all the strippers over at the Playboy Mansion. But no, somehow people seem to think that I'm gay just by walking down the street looking, oh, the gay guy. Whatever, right? I mean, some people are way too chicken shit to even say this kind of stuff to my face. They'll just mutter it amongst their friends whenever I'm about, you know. I'll just be walking around Safeway, and some group of people will be, and it doesn't even have to be Safeway. I've had this kind of crap happen to me at Walmart too, but honestly, the people who have actually had the guts to say anything, you know, they're usually very polite. I told you about, I sound like Butthead from Beavis and Butthead. I told you about that one time. Oh, just recently, two things happened. One was a little eerie. Like, this brings me to my next one. The touching. They just think because you look different in one way or another, and this happens to emos and metalheads too. I mean, I started out wanting to be emo earlier when I was like 17, going on 18, whatever. But I digress. They think just because you look remotely different, whether it's your hair length, the fact you're wearing makeup, your beard length, if you have a beard at all, how much jewelry you're wearing, like, whatever, right? Yeah, I wear jewelry. Fuck off. It ain't your opinion. And they seem to think that just because you look different, that it's an open ticket to touch you for whatever reason. And this brings me to my next story. I was at Walmart just hanging out, and my parents were there with me, alright? Yeah, I still live with my parents. Oh well, get the fuck over it. But my parents happened to notice this old, I don't want to say she's an old lady, but some fairly older woman, like late 50s to 60s or whatever, walking behind me, and she just, out of the blue, I didn't even know she was talking to me at first, she just, out of the blue, walks up from behind me, rubs my back, and just tells me, "Your hair is so beautiful. If you ever get it cut, you should donate it for money." Why don't you take a handful of my ass while you're at it, bitch? Like, what? Like, I'm sorry if I offend anyone watching this. Like, I got female viewers, man. I mean, I truly apologize if I sound negative or disturbed or mental or whatever. You're probably thinking I'm some kind of crazy loon by now, just because I'm starting this whole series or whatever, if it turns into a series. But, you know, I understand that she was trying to be pleasant, and she may have just been a little curious or whatever, but she made me jump a mile, and I was just walking, minding my own business, walking, strolling through the friggin' store, rubbing my back like I'm her kid. Like, okay, you can stop. The touching has to stop. Touch yourself if you gotta. Yeah, I made that joke. What else? Oh! People somehow seem to think that all goth girls are promiscuous with their love life, and they'll basically just do anyone for any reason. Or they'll act as, what's the word? Basically they'll just act like a bunch of, I want to say nymphs. That's the correct word. And people are just going to randomly take advantage of that. People are going to randomly take advantage of goth girls simply because, oh yeah, you know, pale skin, long black hair, you know, the red lips, oh yeah, I'd like to give me some of that ass, yeah. Why? How could you? No. Just no. Alright, I think I've explained that one enough. I wish I would have wrote these down just so that I'd have, just so I wouldn't be standing here like an idiot. But, you know, somehow, and my parents have already said this in the past, but somehow wearing, you know, stuff like women's clothing or whatever, these used to be, women's stockings or whatever from the Dollar Tree that I cut into gloves. And somehow, wearing that, and like I just put this eyeliner on, and somehow they seem to think that wearing any sort of product, whether it's, you know, feminine or not, you know, you can't genderize inanimate objects. They have no life to them at all. This eyeliner crayon, it ain't alive. It ain't alive. This fabric, it's fabric. It doesn't matter what section of the store you bought it in. It's fabric. It's not illegal for guys to, you know, there's people on the, you know, on the news that wear makeup and they're not breaking the law or anything like that. Just, if you're sick of looking at it, don't look at it. Like, that brings me to my, yeah, I'm going to talk about this one next. When people stare. Basically, all they're saying is that they're too chicken shit to actually say anything, so they'll basically just be gawking at you like some statue just standing there like that. I've had this happen to me more times than I can count. Just because I like to wear belts on my neck with O-rings, or even this thing used to be on one of them at one point. But yeah, I get it. Just because it's out of the norm, that doesn't give you the automatic right to just gawk at it like it's the new best thing. Like, if it's truthfully something that you... It's one thing if you're curious, but if you genuinely don't like it, and you know that your friends don't like it, don't point it the fuck out to them. Don't make a big deal out of it. Don't even focus on it. It ain't healthy to stare at something that you don't like. That'd be like me super gluing my eyes to a turd. I can't grasp what must be going through those idiots' heads when this happens, but it still happens, and quite frankly, it pisses me off when it does. But at the same time, I try not to give it any mind, because that's what any sensible person would do. Problem is, though, these days, common sense ain't too common. Oh well, I guess that pretty much wraps it up. I'm sorry if I seemed depressing in this video. I obviously did, but yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm sure there's plenty more misconceptions out there that I forgot to list, but those are the ones I could think of at the time. So if you've ever had any problems like this, please don't be shy. Leave it in the comments if you gotta. So yeah, if you like, please like. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe if you want to see more. And thank you for watching.